Legion Imperialis battle reports. Why, you ask? There's not many of them, so I thought it'd be a nice chance to get the old models out, have a little play around with them, and let you guys see what you think. Could be a terrible idea, but you know, if it's on YouTube, I obviously didn't think it was that bad. So let's have a look. Legio Astorum was staunchly loyal to the Emperor during the Horus Heresy, and here we are joining a Warhound pattern Titan with an Incisor pattern Melter Lance and an Ursus Claw. He is joined by this mysterious Solar Auxilia Exertus force, headed up by a Legate Commander with his Honor Guard, which is a Las Rifle Tertio upgraded with Flamers and Axemen. Two more Las Rifle Tertios join the battle in Dracosan transports, which they have their Demolisher cannons in the hull to blow up some buildings. Big mob of Ogrins, 8 Ethon heavy Sentinels, and 4 Vanquisher pattern Lemon Rust battle tanks. But who would they be fighting? These must be loyalists, because Legio Astorum are loyal, yeah? Legio Astorum were staunchly loyal to the Emperor? But... So this is another Warhound pattern Titan with another Incisor pattern Melter Lance and a Natrix Shock Claw. But he is joined by the Alpha Legion. Ah, I see what's going on. I see, so the Alpha Legion are getting involved, causing internecine conflict between the loyal forces of Legio Astorum. The Alpha Legion are headed up by Legion Command in a Rhinoceros pattern assault tank. We have a tactical detachment, which is upgraded with plasmas, and again, a Dreadnought Talon, 4 missile launcher bases, some Rapier pattern thingamajigs, then 3 Predators and 2 Kratos. What are the Alpha Legion up to? Causing mischief, no doubt. Let's get into the battle. Despite repeated inter-engine hails, the suspected traitor engine fails to respond. It must be brought down. So we deployed on this battlefield the mysterious Solar Auxilia Exertus force in the centre of the city. Legate Commander garrisoning this building with his Honor Guard. Must be something important, council officers or something. Ogrins down here protecting the Legion Russes. The Dracosans with a Las Rifle Tertio here, and just behind the Titan here in support. The Ethon heavy Sentinels at the side. Remember, they have a scout move and forward deployment. And then coming over to the bad guys, we have another Warhound behind the March of the Ancients, a Dreadnought Talon there, a couple of Kratos and some Predators providing an armoured push into this city, but it appears forward elements of the Alpha Legion are already here garrisoning these buildings. The Rapiers in there and the missile launchers here. There's 4 bases in that building. Doesn't look like it, but there is. So here we go. Forgot to mention the Legion Commander with his 2 tactical detachments in their Rhinoceroses are on outflank. Sneaky buggers. Solar Auxilia have the initiative this day. They will get the first activation and have the initiative in each phase of the game. This battle round, put that back, the Warhounds are both on advancing fire. They're keen to make battle. Probably going to get in the centre and rough each other up a bit. And then over here we have advance on these Dracosans because they're out of range of the commander, and then we have first fire on the Layman Russ. The Ogrins are on a march. They seem to be a bit excited about something, and these Dracosans are going to march. The Ethons used their forward deployment to come up a little bit, and they're on an advancing fire order. Then coming down to the Alpha Legion, we have the Kratos and the Predators are on advancing fire. Dreadnoughts advancing, might be able to get some shots off over there. And then we have first fire on the Rapiers and the missile launchers. So after movement it looks like this. Quite an aggressive push from the Solar Auxilia. 2 march orders here in the middle from the Dracosans and the Ogrins, pushing forward to secure the centre of this battlefield. The Warhound on the Alpha Legion side, a little bit more reluctant, taking the side there. This guy just going for it, barreling towards him. It's going to be bloody there. Got this Dracosan just keeping the flank safe. Obviously the Layman Rust didn't move, they're on first fire, and they can hopefully get off some shots towards this armoured push from the Alpha Legion, which is coming up this central boulevard. The Sentinels, surprisingly fast with their forward deployment and their 7-inch move. They're looking to outflank the Alpha Legion here and try and maybe get some shots in their rear of their armour. So the Predators and the Kratos scooted behind here, they're sneaky little gets. Okay, let's see what happens. So the first fire coming from the Layman Russ, and they're going to go into those Predators over there. They've got a decent shot on them, and they do have some accurate las cannons that can strip the shields off this Warhound. So they're going to see if they can pop a couple and maybe keep some of that at bay. Here are the shots, hitting on 4s. Oh, 3 hits, that's nice. Where's the other one? 3 hits. Okay. Predators, they have a 3-up save, -1 from the las cannons. Predator down. And then the Layman Russ las cannons. Just the 2 hits. Coming over to the Predators. Now this again is going to be 4-ups. 1 more Predator down. That's good. Effective fire. And when I said the first shots into the Predators were from the las cannons, they were actually meant to be from the Vanquisher battle cannons, which would be AP2. But you rolled 6s for the saves anyway, so we're golden. Okay. In retaliation, I think these Dreadnoughts are now going to try and start stripping some of the shields off the Warhound in the middle there. So we have 6 las cannon shots coming in hot. And only 2 hits. So that's 2 void shields down. The Warhound is unprotected. The Solar Auxilia really don't have much to retaliate with here. Most of their gun is kind of out of position now because of this sneaky maneuver from the Alpha Legion. They've got these Sentinels here with a lot of firepower, but really all they can target are these detachments here. So I'm going to pick on the missile launchers. And it's going to be 16 shots into the missile launchers, but they're in a building, so they're hitting on 6s, and there are 3 hits. And in this building, these guys are going to get a 4-up cover save. So they only kill 1 base, interesting. And then the multi-lasers. Get the dice. The multi-lasers, which are going to be hitting on 6s. There's 4 more hits. And 4 4-up saves for these brave legionaries, another 2 bases, so there's only a single base remaining, which means a leadership on a 3+. And they fail. These missile launcher legionaries are on a fallback order. Have they panicked, or is this all part of their plan? Smelling blood, these Kratos battle tanks take aim at the Warhound. These guys are danger close. In come the Kratos battle cannons within the 10-inch range. Only 2 dice, but... they miss. Massive. How did they miss? Okay. Onto the laser cannons. Sponson laser cannons. These are accurate, which means you reroll failed hits. And we have 2 hits. Now, the Warhound has a 2-up save, which is decreased to a 3-up with the laser cannons AP. He's fine. And then the non-accurate las cannons, 1 hit, again on a 4-up. He's fine. Durable things, these. And the Kratos auto cannons. 5s now, just the 1 hit, which is light AT, so he gets his 2-up save, and he's fine. I have to say I'm surprised by that. A lot of gun coming out of these Kratos, and to do no damage is unusual. Well, there we are. And then I just remembered, these guys and these guys were on first fire. But it's too late. Those guys are broken. Idiots. These guys are not broken, so I'm going to fire them now in the advancing fire stage. They have indirect. They're pretty good at killing infantry, and there's some Ogryns over there, so let's measure up the range, see if we can kill them. 2 shots each from these quad launchers, firing downfield into the Ogryns and hitting on 4s. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. And these poor old Ogryns, they only have a 6-up save. 2 are slain. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, does it? 2 are slain, but these guys are absolute monsters compared to baseline humans. Killing 4 Ogrins, that's no mean feat. In desperation, the unshielded Warhound fires out a volley from the Incisive Pattern Melter Lance. He can only strip 1 shield off at best. 2 up isn't going to do it. He's feeling a bit unsupported here. Who are these Solar Auxilia? And the retaliation comes as it surely would. On a 4 up, the Incisive Pattern Melter Lance hits at -4 with no void shields. 6 up, makes it. The Emperor protects. And the only unit that can really have any more effect is this Predator, the lone Predator from the squadron which was shot at. He has an accurate las cannon, which hits, and a 3-up save, which he makes, and an inaccurate las cannon, which does hit, despite being inaccurate, and he does save. And we come back to the fallback phase of the end phase. Do these guys rally on a 3+? They do. And then I remembered that Predator was supposed to do a morale. It wouldn't have made any difference. His shots were saved by the Warhound. But let's see if he would have rallied. He would not have rallied, so he falls back 6 inches towards this battlefield edge. So battle has been met. Shots have been exchanged in anger. Astartes have been slain, and a couple of abhumans down here have been slain, but no huge damage. This Warhound, whilst being unprotected by void shields, is still at full health. So let's see if his void shields come back on 4+. 1 void shield. And let's go on to the orders phase. Does it look like the Solar Auxilia are going to do okay here? They've made an aggressive push, good bit of staging. They've kind of got the Alpha Legion boxed in here. So let's see what happens in Battle Round 2. So the orders have been issued. The Solar Auxilia have the initiative. They rolled a 6 for initiative. So they're going to get the first activation here. So their orders are thus. We have advancing fire, first fire, because they're in range of the commander. The commander's on advancing fire, although he just hung back last time, didn't do much. The Dracosans on advancing fire. These Ogrins, they want to charge. They're looking to meet these Dreadnoughts in the middle here and try and protect the Warhound, who is on an advancing fire. The Dreadnoughts here on a charge order also. It looks like we're going to have a bit of a Barney in the middle. That's going to be brutal. Advancing fire here for this Warhound. First fire for the Kratos. They can smell blood. This guy is in reverse, running away. These guys might remember to fire first this turn. Hope so. And hopefully they'll fight the remaining base of missile launcher legionaries will too. Then come around this side, and the Sentinels are on advance. Now, they can only really see that Predator at the moment, but there's a lot of targets over there, so we'll see what happens. You didn't forget about the outflankers, did you? So there's quite a lot of Astartes presence off the board on outflank. They're all on advancing fire orders. Let's see where they come on. It could be a problem for the Solar Auxilia here. I thought they were in a kind of a comfortable position. Desperate times call for desperate measures. The Ogrins here charging that Dreadnought Talon. That was the first movement of the game, of this battle round. Now they've tied up the Dreadnoughts. 5 bases are in contact with the Dreads. They might do some damage there, but what's key to that is it stopped the Dreadnoughts moving, which kind of pinned this Warhound into place. He could only move a couple of inches up. So in response, these Dracosans on advanced fire point their guns at him, as do these Dracosans on the flank. Now, discretion's the better part of valor, so this guy decided to get out of dodge while he's only got 1 void shield left. And he reversed. Titans can only go half distance when they move, so it's only 3.5 inches, but it's just keeping him just slightly back there from the other Warhound. Might help, who knows? Obviously the Kratos are on first fire. There's a lot of shots from those coming in. We've got first fire from the quad cannons and the missile launchers. If the missile launchers can see, oh yeah, you can easily see them. So that's what's going on in the middle of the battlefield. Oh yeah, the Ethons as well all turn to put some firepower into the healthy Titan there. So that's what's going on in the middle. Now, you didn't forget the outflankers, did you? So down here, 3 rhinos are turned up in an outflanking manoeuvre, looking to cut the head off this Solar Auxilia command structure. He's garrisoned this building. feeling pretty safe, but there is a lot of anti-infantry firepower coming in here. And then the Lehman Russ here, who are on their first fire, don't really have clear shots to the Warhound there. Maybe a few shots could get into him. They're probably going to have to put their firepower into the Kratos because of clearer line of sight. But problem for the future may be the cunning Alpha Legion commander has performed some sort of audacious rear field outflank, looking to tie up these Lehman Russ in the next battle round. Could be a problem. Could be a problem. Let's see what happens. And these plucky legionaries did remember they're on first fire. They're going to put their quad launchers down into that command building. 8 shots with these. They are going to be hitting on 6s though. 1 hit, and the Lasman inside get a 4-up save. 1 base is slain. The command structure coming under some fire here with some heavy pressure on their flank. Decisions. Do they protect the commander and shoot back into these legionaries before they get a chance to pepper them with bolt fire, or do they seek to protect the loyalist Warhound with some Dracosans into this one, or the Ethons into this one? Decision. Continue with the first fire phase first. These Lehman Russ into the Kratos with their Vanquisher pattern battle cannons. The las cannons might be out of range. I think I might have messed that up last time, but let's see what happens with the Vanquisher baton cannons. 4 hits, jeez. AP2, now Kratos have a 2-up save, so there's going to be 4 ups. They do have 2 wounds each, but it's possible. Oh my. 1.5 Kratos killed. Does it break? No, he's golden. And finally, a missile screams out across the battlefield to try and strip that last remaining void shield from the Warhound. And misses. Into the punch-in phase. Now, if you played Legions Imperialis, you know that this part of the game can be a little bit complicated. So here's how it works. So the player with the initiative gets to choose the pairings in the fight. Now, this base is paired with this base. This base with this base, this base with this base, but this base also with this base, and this base with this base. Now the CAF, the close assault factor for each of these. The Ogrins is +3, they charge so they get +1, and because they are in base contact with another infantry unit, because of the detachment rule, they get 1 extra for that. So they have a CAF of 5 currently, as do the Dreadnoughts, that's their base CAF is +5. Now, these guys also have Rend, so they get to roll an extra dice in the combat phase. So this is how this works. The first combat, these 2 bases closest to us, the Ogrins get 13. +5 is 18. The Dreadnought, 4 +5 is 9. So the Ogrins win that fight. And we remove this Dreadnought. Moving on to the next one. Second base of Ogrins into the second Dreadnought. Whoa. Is 9, 11, 16. And the Dreadnought rolls 7. Another Dreadnought is slain. Third base of Ogrins, 3 dice. Combined result +5 is 17. Oh dear, it's not looking good here. Dreadnought, 9 is slain. So we get to this base, is no longer paired up, so not fighting, but this base here, interestingly, if that Dreadnought was still alive and this base fought, they would get an extra dice because it would have been that Dreadnought's second fight this round. Anyway, onto this base, 3 dice. Quite a low roll there, only 10 when you add in the 5 CAF, and the Dreadnought, 15, so this base of Ogrins is slain. So the charge of the Abhumans has really shut down these Dreadnoughts. Do they pass their morale check? No. Yes, they do. And of course, when I said yes they do, I meant no they don't, because their leadership is 3+, so they are going to fall back D6 inches. 5 crumbs. And while I was doing that, I remembered this Kratos was on first fire, so he's going to bang into that guy. Kratos battle cannon is now out of its range for the AP4 shot, so he's going to do the longer range AP1 shot, but there are 2 dice for that, hitting on 4s. There's a hit, void shield down. Then there's an accurate las cannon, which hits, 3-up save, which he makes, and an inaccurate las cannon, which misses, and an auto cannon, 2 hits. Interesting. This is light AT, so 2-up save still on the Warhound, and he's good. So the Ogre in charge really doing business there, really shutting down the Dreadnought, stopping the Warhound from getting through to get into real spicy range with its weapons. Yeah, interesting stuff. Really feels like the Solar Auxiliary are in the ascendancy here, so they're going to take that momentum with the initiative. The Ethons are going to fire all their missile launchers into this Warhound, try and strip off his void shields. 8 shots, hitting on 4s. 1, 2 hits there, they're going to take off the void shields, and then we're going to have a 3-up save. He's fine. But void shields are down. This Warhound is now vulnerable. With the deafening boom of a collapsing void shield echoing across the battlefield, these tactical marines are going to fire all their bolter fire and plasma guns into this command structure. Was this really the plan of the Alpha Legion after all, to distract the Solar Auxilia so that they could take off its head? Not with rolling like that. It needed 6s to hit with the bolters and 6s to hit with the plasmas. Just the 1 hit. AP1, but the cover save is 4-up, so 5-up save, and they're good. Continuing with the advancing fire stage, these Dracosans can smell blood now. This Warhound's vulnerable, so they're going to put their demolisher cannons up and in. 2 shots, need 4s to hit. 1 hit. It is only AP1, so 3-up save. No. The Warhound loses a wound down to 3. Dismay in the ranks of the Alpha Legion as their indentured god machine catches a flame. Broken, damaged, and angry, it lashes out. The Incisive pattern Melter Lance going into the other Warhound, and the Natrix Shock Lance coming into these Dracosans who had the gall to fire upon him. Starting with the Shock Lance, hits on a 2. That's a hit. It's AP1. And they make the save with a 2-up. Still at long range with the Melter Lance, hitting on a 4. That is a hit. -3 at this range, so the Warhound needs a 5-up. It's critical. So the Warhound takes not just 1 wound, but this is Engine Killer 2. So from the 1 shot from this Melter Pattern Incisor thingamajig, takes 3 wounds off this Warhound. So voids are down, 1 wound remaining. With only 1 wound remaining and no void shields, this Warhound is vulnerable. So in support, these Dracosans are going to retaliate against this Warhound. They can just see over that building, and it's just in their front arc. So 2 shots with the demolisher cannons. They both 1 hits, and it's going to be a 3-up save, and the Warhound is undamaged. And reaching the conclusion of the advancing fire phase, this command structure in the building will fire down at these interloping legionaries. There are brave legionaries knocking on our door, so let's go kill them. With flamers on 4s, 2 wounds. 1 save, so our base of legionaries is slain. And 2 laser rifle bases on 5s, nothing. Final shots of the phase. Rhinoceros pattern assault tanks fire their combi bolters into the infantry in that building and do nothing. So this is how it looks at the end of battle round 2. This Warhound desperately in danger, very much stricken. No void shields remaining, 1 wound, it's bleeding. If it bleeds, we can kill it. This Warhound slightly damaged, void shields are down. Dreadnoughts took a kick in, the Kratos have been harfed. Ogrins are loving their day. They're having a really good time running around, enjoying themselves. Ethon's fantastic performance. That little predator, we'll just see if he's going to carry on falling back. Yeah, these guys took a bit of a kicking, didn't they? Not much going on there, whittling away at the infantry in that building, and this problem's still here for the Lehman Russ. So let's see if this guy manages to pass his morale. Uh-oh. Moves 5 inches. Might take him off the board, so it might be the last we see of that predator. And the tech adepts aboard these god engines work as hard as they can to reignite the void shields. On this one, they both flare back into life. And on the stricken machine, 1. This guy's in danger. He's feeling a little bit more comfortable though. So battle round 3, the Solar Auxilia have taken the initiative again. They're really on fire today with the old initiative rolls. Orders have been given. This is what it looks like. We've got a charge down here, meaning to engage these Lehman Russes to try and stop them from firing. They've gone on to an advancing fire order. Just maybe they can outrun these guys and carry on firing, get some shots down. These fellas here, now they're on a march order. Why would they do that? They're afraid that they're going to get charged by legionaries. It's a very real threat, so it makes a lot of sense. They're going to get out of there and run. Now, hopefully they'll have enough movement to get up to these Ogrins. Unfortunately, Ogrins are quite stupid. One of the rules for Solar Auxilia, unless they're within 10-inch range of the commander, they can't take anything other than an advancing order. So hopefully this guy can get himself up and within 10 inches where he can then use his inspired tactician rule to change their order to a charge. That's what's happening there. Dracosans are on advance, Dracosans are on advance, as are the squads inside, again because of out of range of the commander there. The Ethons on an advance here, hoping that they're going to be able to do something before these dreadnoughts, who are looking to charge them, make it in. The Kratos on first fire back here for the rapiers, and first fire for the plucky little guys. Yeah, let's not talk about him. He's stayed on the battlefield, but he's still on a fallback order. Then the god machines, what's happening here? So this guy, he's got his 2 void shields, his 3 wounds, he's feeling fine. He's on an advancing fire order. He wants to get close and get that Natrix shot glance in to this warhound, who only has 1 void shield and 1 wound remaining. If the shot glance goes through, it has the bypass rule. It can get through the void shields and just pop him. What he's hoping to do. But this guy, he's on first fire. Nothing more dangerous than a badly wounded warhound. Watch yourselves. And this is what it looks like after the movement phase. It was difficult decisions for the Solar Auxilia. They knew that they were going to be met in the combat here, hand-to-hand combat, and some of their plans wouldn't come off, so they had to decide what to do first. The first move was to try and get these Lehman Russ out of dodge, but it didn't quite have enough movement. They were still able to be tagged by the rhinos here. But because they moved first, the commander was also then charged. I think realistically, either way, they both would have ended up tagged, but the commander, they're not making it up the field to the Ogrin. Not a huge issue, I don't think. The Dracosans have decided to circle this warhound. I think they know that their warhound is going to die, but vengeance will be sweet. The Ethons then move round to circle him. Got a bit of a Mexican standoff here. So what did the Ogrins do? So they're on advance. They couldn't charge, but they're not completely thick. They formed a shield of muscle here, moving before the dreadnoughts to protect the sentinels. The dreadnoughts then made their charge into that Ogrin line. So it'd be interesting to see how 3 dreadnoughts do when they're charging compared to when they get charged from Ogrins. Obviously in the backfield, first fires, so no movements here. Into the first fire phase. The wounded, stricken warhound is on first fire, and in his haste to make a kill, the healthier warhound has inadvertently moved into range of an Ursus Claw. Now the Ursus Claw has this impale special rule, so this could be a bit of a mistake. The Ursus Claw hits on a 4. Oh well, never mind. Could have been fun. And then the Incisive pattern Melter Lance. This is in spicy range now, so it's going to hit on a 3, I believe, with accurate. But with accurate, definitely a hit. It's AP 4 at this range, but this guy has 2 void shields, so the void shields are down to 1. With no good targets for the quad launchers, they have a short range weapon, which it does have anti-tank, but that's out of range of the targets. And their infantry weaponry, which while would be in range, these guys are engaged and those guys are engaged, so no fires for the quad launcher. So this plucky missile launcher detachment are going to streak out there, see if they can strip that last void shield. On a 4, it's a hit. The void shield is down. Could this be the moment? Does the Kratos have what it takes? The last first fire in the phase, so 2 shots at longer range with the Kratos battle cannon. On 4s, 2 hits. It's AP 1, so he needs 2 3+ to live. Engine kill. And as the Titan dies, it does damage to nearby units. Any model within 3 inches, you roll a dice. On a 4 up, okay, 3 models here take a hit, and these models here, there's 4 of those. Another dice. On a 4 up, just the 1. And these count at AP 1, so the rhinos have a 4 up save base, so 5s. Oh my. 3 rhinos are killed, and the Lumen Russes have a 2 up save base, so on 3+, sorry, it was only 1 of the Lumen Russ. Lumen Russ are fine, so 3 rhinos are killed. There are 5 bases of infantry in those rhinos. They have to make some 4 up saves or be slain. Wow, only 2 bases live, which is very interesting because the rhinos that engage the Lumen Russes, you can only take damage on those units that are within range of the dying Titan. Oh, he's gone now. So that was the front 3 which were in combat with the Lumen Russes. That then leaves them free to fire as they're on an advance order. Oh my. So a pretty devastating first fire phase. On to the combat. The Dreadnoughts charged. They have a CAF of 5. They get +1 for charging. So we're going to do it like this. First fight, second fight, third fight. Dreadnought gets a 13, and these guys also have 3 dice again still because they have rend, but they don't have anywhere near as much CAF. They only have 3 CAF this time. 12, they win. So this Dreadnought is slain. And on to the second fight. Ooh, that is 4 + 5, 9, and the Ogrins. Brutal. Another Dreadnought slain. This is not working out well for them. Final fight, the Dreadnought 15 and the Ogrin base. Wow. Oh dear. Do not charge Ogrin. Doesn't work out well. And moving on to this combat. Now, this might not have been such a great idea either, because the way it works, the building gives you a boost to your CAF. Now, these guys also get a boost to their CAF if they're in base contact with one another. So they count as being in base contact with one another when they're in a building. Additionally to that, the number of bases here is a problem. We've got 5 bases of legionaries, and we have got 9 bases of solar auxilia. So at some point, these Astartes are going to be outnumbered, which means that the later bases are going to get increased number of dice. Factor in the fact that the Velatari, the Axemen, have rend. They're going to get an extra dice, so there's going to potentially be a problem here, especially because the solar auxilia having the initiative get to decide the pair-offs. Could be bloody. Okay, so the first 2 fights, these 2 bases here, are going to be into Lasmen. Now the Legionaries have a CAF of +2, +1 for the charge. They have a CAF of +3. Now the Lasmen, they have a CAF of 0, but being in the building they get +3 and they get +1 for being in base contact, so they're actually going to get +4. They're in an advantage when they first start. So the legionaries get 6 and the lasmen get 9. Okay, so not looking good. Same again. Oh, that's a bit better. So that's +3 to that. So that's going to be 13. And the lasmen, oh my. Oh dear. Okay, the next one is going to be legionaries into the flamer dudes. Uh-oh. 9 plus for the flamer guys. Oh my. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. 4 fight, plasma base. +3 to this is 9. And into flamer guys. Okay, so the flamer guys only get an 8, so we lose a base of flamers. Okay. And then final plasma base here into flamer guys is a 6. And the flamer guys, oh dear, 1 base left here. So now we go on to Velatari. This is going to be a problem. So the plasma guys, oh dear, only get a 8, and the Velatari, yeah, brutal. I guess assaulting a structure, they've got the upper hand, the defensive position. Maybe it wasn't such a bad thing that they didn't get out of this building. And we move into the advancing fire stage. The Lehman Russ Vanquisher squad are going to put all their guns into this god engine. We have got 4 shots with Vanquisher pattern battle cannons. He has 1 void shield left. 2 void shields left. Vanquishers. 3 hits. So both void shields are down, and then he needs to take a -2 save, so it's a 4+, and he's fine. And then there are 4 laser cannons. 3 hits. This could do it. This could do it. He needs 3 up saves. Wow, down to 1 wound. Sensing the danger and the perilous conditions he is in, this Warhound is going to split fire. Melter Lance over here, Natrix Shock Lance here. So the Melter Lance on a 4 with accurate. With accurate. It's a hit. These guys have a 2-up save, but it's -4 AP, so 6. 1 is slain. And a save for the las rifle section. Oh, both slain. And the shock lance coming down here on a 2+. Hits. They only need a 3+, and they make the save, but it does have the shock pulse ability, which will mean their movement is affected and they can only fire with 1 gun. Well, they've only got 1 gun anyway, so they don't care about that. And they know where they need to be already. Can the Sentinels take him out? He's only got 1 wound left, no void shields. 4, 6, 8 shots. Crack missiles to the face. Oof. Needs to make 4 3-up saves or die. And he is dead. Another engine kill. And on a 4-up, it does damage to this Dracosan. Yep. And on a 4-up, damage to these Dracosans. No. So AP1, so a 3-up. And he's golden. Continuing with the advancing fire. Anyone that was on first fire can fire in the advancing stage. So these quad cannons are going to put their anti-infantry firepower into the Ogrins. With 8 dice hitting on 4s. 3 hits. But it's only a 6-up save. 3 bases are slain. Which forces a morale on a 4+. Boosted by their victory in combat, the Legate Commander is going to use his Master Tactician ability to change the order of his Honor Guard to advancing fire. at which point they will rain murder down into the Legion command with 3 flamers on 4s and 5 up saves. They're good. And 2 las rifle bases, 1 hit and a 4 up. 4 up does not save the tactical base. So this detachment now needs to take them out on a 3+. They're fine. The commander fired his pistols into the infantry in the building, as did the rhinos. No damage was caused. And this is how it looks at the end of battle round 3. Both god machines have been destroyed. Lots of damage taken to both sides. Solar Auxilia take the initiative yet again for the 4th battle round. This is what the orders look like. I think I'm getting this right. So the infantry in the Rhino are part of the detachment with the commander. Obviously they're in a Rhino, so they can only take advancing fire, which is what the commander has to take too, because he's part of that detachment. But the Rhinoceros can take a charge order, looking to tie up these Lemon Russ once more. The Legate commander putting himself on a charge order, brave sally forth to try and stop this pinning charge. The Rhinos over here, they can't really do too much, so they've just put themselves on advancing fire. We've got the Dracosans on advancing fire, because they have to be, because they're 10 inches away, more than 10 inches away. The Ethons advancing fire, and the Ogrins for the same reason. The Kratos is on first fire in the backfield, and first fire for the plucky missile guys. Interrupting the movement phase. We're still in the movement phase, so here's what happened. This Rhinoceros, this was here with the tactical detachment inside it that was attached to the commander. So the tacticals could only have advancing fire. Don't know why they've got first fire. Oh no, advancing fire order, because they were embarked in a Rhino, but the Rhino could have a charge. So they got out. They can't be in the combat, but they got out of the Rhino. They can't be in the combat when they get out of the Rhino. The commander still engaged. But the Rhino, being scale 2 against the scale 1 of the infantry, was able to break out of that combat and make the charge into the Layman Russ, which would then tag them because the scale matches. So, in the movement phase, the Ethon Heavy Sentinels are going to overwatch this Rhino. 8 crack missiles coming in, needing 6s. 2 hits, AP1. The Rhino has a 4-up save, so we need 2 5s here, or the Rhino does not achieve its target of pinning the Lemon Russ. It does not. So we move on to the first fire phase. These rapiers are just going to try and polish off those Ogre in there. So with 8 shots on 4s. Just the 2 hits, but 6s to save. They're dead. And looking down here, the missile launchers can draw line of sight onto the Dracosans, so on a 4. They miss. And finally the Kratos, who feels a little bit in danger here. He's going to put his guns all into the 2 tank squadrons. So the single shot, because we're within 10 inches for the juicy AP, misses. Accurate las cannons, miss. We roll him, hit. 3-up save, they're fine. And the inaccurate las cannon hits, 3-up save, 1 is slain. On 4-up saves to save the guys inside. Both bases survive. And the autocannon on 5s, miss. And coming down into this combat, so this is how the parries are going to work. The Velatari into this base of tacticals, then the Velatari into the HQ, then the command squad from Solar Auxilia into the HQ, and if he's still alive, both these flamers will come into the HQ. So Velatari, they're going to be getting +1 for the charge, +1 for being in base, and they have +1 base anyway. So they're getting CAF of +3, and they're rolling 3 dice for rend. Not like a great roll, so we got 6, 9, 11, 14. and the legionaries do not. And then the second base of Velatari into the command squad. They're going to have 15. The Legion HQ has a CAF of +3, but only 2 dice. So they fail and they are slain. Then we come down to the Dracosan. Demolish your cannon into the Kratos. Misses. The rhinos over here really have no targets, so yeah. Next Dracosan, Demolisher, hits, 3-up save, makes it. And we'll do the, while we're here, because the Alpha Legion have run out of activations, so the Vanquisher battle cannons, 1 hit, and 4-up save, makes it. And then the whole mountain laser cannons, 3 hits, 3-up saves, he's fine. And that draws a close to the opening battle in this House Astorum civil war. Alpha Legion is certainly involved in this. Who are these Solar Auxilia? They seem to be very well drilled, very, very well drilled indeed, with lots of very good plans, strategies and tactics. Almost like they are in cahoots with somebody also very sneaky. So I hope you enjoyed the battle report, something a little bit different. Yeah, I'm still new to the game, getting to grips with the rules. I think I got a lot of it right, forgot a few things, got a lot of things wrong. If it makes it to YouTube and you're watching this far, let me know in the comments anything that you think I got wrong. Probably do some more of these, it was quite fun. Hopefully do a couple of 40k things as well, all narrative based. You will probably have noticed that there was no mission. Yeah, just looking at the narrative at the minute. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.